나홀로 에일러 걸주모를 림표 하헬리
I know, I have to look over there too to see if they're there.
I was watching.
Hit those too. They're not paying attention.
Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday celebration of Spirit here at the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. And know that we honor you wherever you are on your spiritual path. I invite you now to turn off all your electrical gizmos, phones, pagers, etc., so we don't interrupt the sacred space that we are going to be creating today. And once you've done that, say hi to your neighbor, especially somebody you haven't met before. Hi, y'all. I'd like to draw your attention to the stage. Look at all those kids. We here at the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, we honor you wherever you are on your spiritual path. And while there are infinite paths too, there is indeed only one God. The words to this morning's chant will be up here, and followed by a spiritual mind treatment by our beloved Reverend Karyl.
tare tu re so Om tare tare tu re so Om tare tu re so Om tare tu re so Tare tu re so ha Om 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 tare tu re so 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 Om tare tu re so
We're so grateful to have Anton and Laura here. And good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Karyl Huntley. There are several people that are new today that I haven't met. Welcome, welcome. I'd love to meet you personally after the service. And we're going to wave to Jan Retzner, who's watching from England, and Danny, who's watching from San Francisco. And so as you're turning around there, I want to draw your attention to these fabulous murals on the back. This is a project of the Singing Trees, and you can read the story about that over here. It's just fantastic. But just on a Sunday when, the topic is gratitude, to have all this beauty here and all these beautiful children and all you new folks and people watching us all over the world, I'm filled with gratitude. And some people are back after a long time too, so I'm grateful to see you. And if you would join me in prayer, getting ready. This is preparation for just a flood of gratitude for each and every heart. And so as I move into prayer and invite all of you to just follow your breath, and when your breath stops, it's right around your heart area, just imagine that you're sitting there, right at the bottom of your breath. And then join me in knowing that right there is the center of the universe, where the presence of the Infinite One resides, and affects from that place every other thing in the entire universe, because the Infinite One is actually the pattern, the divine pattern that connects everything. And so I sit in the middle of my divine pattern, knowing that all good, all light, all love, all peace, all power, all wisdom, all answers, all healing, all manifestations of any sort arise from that center place within me. And knowing that every place in the universe is the center. I sit in my center and know that each person here in their center is one with me and one with their good. And so as I sit in my heart, I do this thing that I'll talk about in this prayer and ask everyone to do the same. I open, so that my heart is larger than my physical body and reaches out its tendrils of love into all the corners of this room and out into the beautiful day. I feel those connecting tendrils of the Infinite One, connecting me to everything else. And that inspires me to open my heart even further, so that there are no walls, no boundaries, no edges to my heart. My heart is infinitely open. And this is the way I invite gratitude. And so remaining completely open and anticipating great good in the next moment, the next hour, the rest of the day, the week, the year, and on into infinity, I give my thanks, releasing this prayer into that great pattern, knowing that my word is made manifest perfectly, and so it is. Now, before I introduce Anton, I want to say that before you drive, make sure that your edges are in place, because we're all wide open now. And just invite you to stay that way for the whole service. Please welcome Anton and Laura.
Good morning. So we thought that a perfect song for this morning with Reverend Karyl's theme of gratitude would be the Gaelic version of Morning Has Broken. We will do the last verse in English so that you can just pour your hearts right into that space.
Solis na grinja, nating na glora, Kjori and leve, karen don la. Mole mit Kjori, mole mit boichet, mole mit dochas, fachgelag Ushkechen minje, tuchem vonje, maar hulingen droeg, tosche herfas. Milische minjet, mascheken gia, jerichen strien, larcha heim. Solis na grinja, Martin na glora, Jari herede, Jari hor, Molig lenis, Molig geri, Kruge je, Martin gachna. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word.
Yeah.
Moves me to tears. My name is Michael Hart, and I'm your practitioner for the morning. And we like to begin with gratitude. And today, I'd like to offer the gratitude of the entire community to all of those who signed up during our service fair in the last 2 weeks to be on a team. And you will be contacted by that team leader if you haven't been already. So thank you, everyone who signed up to serve the community. Yay! And today our children's lesson is that there is always something to be grateful for. So I invite each one of us to go inside for just a moment and think of that one thing that comes first to our mind that we're grateful for today. And maybe you'd like to turn and share it with your neighbor, or maybe not. You'd like to just keep it to yourself. But feel free to share it. Oh, so nice to feel grateful. Filled up. So we have some wonderful offerings, and they're all in your bulletin, so look for more details there if I forget to mention some detail of one of our offerings, and I certainly am not talking about all of them. But the first one I'm talking about is a class that Francine Huss created and is offering in conjunction with our pledge season after it to help us sort of get ready for January when we begin our new commitments, called Think More, Give More, Live More. It's a 5-week class, and it's been postponed 1 week so that you can still sign up for it. It starts this Tuesday, and it's going to be helping those who participate to prosper in all ways in their lives. So again, you can sign up at the Ed table for Think More, Give More, Live More. Next Sunday, we have 2 offerings. Right after service, we have Reverend Sarah. Would you wave a hand or stand up? Who is going to be offering us another installment of Helping Each Other Succeed, where she will facilitate a sacred conversation about how we can give each other support in any of our passions, whether that be work or hobby or dream. And that's going to be right here after service next Sunday. Later in the day, we're also having a workshop, a sacred conversation workshop with Reverend Catherine Rabar, who's going to be speaking to us at the offices. And we've timed this so that you can participate in both. And Lori, who has in the past participated in Catherine Rabar's workshop, is going to tell us a little about it.
Well, I took part in Catherine's 6-week group that she has been doing now for, over a year maybe. And it is such an opportunity to really allow yourself to go to the very authentic place within yourself that we don't often speak from. And I found it to be so deep and really changed me, and it changed how I am in a relationship. And I just think that we don't have very many opportunities to really, really say what's true. And that's what this is. There's not a teacher. It's just very lightly guided. And it really gives us an opportunity to just be truly who we are.
We also have Thanksgiving dinner coming up soon at the home of the Walkers. Thank you, Jet, so much. And we have a sign up today on the events table, which is right there. They need to know what you're going to bring and how many people you're going to bring with you. So please sign up today for our communal Thanksgiving dinner at the Walkers' house. And the first 2 Sundays in December, we'll be moving right along into a holiday bazaar. So if you want to sell your own beautiful creations, contact Paula Karp. Is she here today? No, okay, well, you can talk to any of us and we'll tell you how to contact Paula Karp, or go online and download a contract from the documents portion of our website. So, and there's much more in your bulletin to look at and consider in participating in this glorious community. And now our wonderful spiritual leader, Reverend Karyl, will take it from here.
Well, I want to say what a fabulous party we had on Friday night for the Sagittarians. If you're new here, we're doing astrological parties every month. So if you haven't already, I invite you to go to our page on Facebook, because there's a photo there of something that happened at this party. Before it started, the centerpiece caught on fire at wonderful Suruta's beautiful dining room. And the flames were this high. And it was scary, and we called the fire department, but we put it out ourselves first. And I have said that we don't believe in any force that is outside of us that is not also on the inside of us. So I want to remain very good with my science of mind teaching and also invite you to these wonderful astrological parties because God has fun with us. Because the Sages are a fire sign and Sue and I are water signs. And so it all worked out beautifully. And Capricorns, you Capricorns, your party is going to be on the 14th of December. That's a Saturday at Sue's house. And everyone is invited. And for those of you who are Sagittarians that did not get to the party, I have a little birthday card especially for you up here at my podium. So come up after the service. And my final announcement is really a spectacular gift for all of us, but it involves specifically Barbara Cox. So I would like Barbara to come forward here. Barbara has served our community for more than 20 years as a practitioner. And one of the things about practitioners is that practitioners aren't just practitioners when they're in the session with you or praying for somebody. They're practitioners 24/7. And so I encourage you all to get to know this wonderful person if you don't already, because this is what 20 years of living in practitioner consciousness looks like. So I have a certificate and a little card for her wallet and a letter from the community spiritual leader of our entire movement, which I will just read 2 sentences of. We have reviewed her record and find her eminently qualified for this distinguished recognition. She certainly epitomizes the standards of and professionalism inherent in the work of the professional practitioner. Would you please applaud with me Barbara Cox, Practitioner Emerita. Yes, the singles party is this next Saturday, and I believe it's in your bulletin. And those of you who are single are all welcome, and you can check with Ellie afterwards. So that's beautiful. So moving into the message, the talk, the share, what I deeply, deeply want to tell you this morning. We are in the month of connection. We have a theme every month within the yearly theme of the New World and the Ancient Path. And we're doing connection in November because that's actually what our ancestors did, the Ancient Path part. When all of the crops were in, people went inside their homes to stay warm, to can and preserve, and to fix things, to fix the plows, and to mend all of the clothing. And they also got together in wonderful communal meals and storytelling and parties and so forth in preparation for the long dark time of the winter. And so this is our month of Thanksgiving. And so it's very appropriate that we have today, which the word is gratitude. And just to be clear for all of you that are new here, we've got a yearly theme, a monthly theme, and then we have a word for the day, and then we have a principle for the day. It's a lot, but it all kind of holds together in that sacred pattern that I talked about in the prayer. So the principle is this: gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence. And this is actually from our textbook. Ernest Holmes wrote this. You can find it on page 497. This is his words, and I think it is so absolutely perfect. And I want to sort of break down this principle for us by talking about the word grace, first of all. Now, grace, I think, is something that takes you directly to an awareness of God. Like our altars every week are that focal point that reminds you of the divine. Now this altar is done by Suzanne Labardi, and this is what she wrote in her email. Because I sent her this principle, and so this altar epitomizes the principle. Sending a birthday card, a get well card, or the like is a common way we express our gratitude for others. Whatever may be printed inside the card, we are truly saying, I am grateful for you. Thank you for being in my life. I cherish you, and I express this love in action. And she invites us all to come up to the altar afterwards and look at the messages inside these beautiful cards. But this is a gift of grace. It just appears every Sunday with our altar team. And this activity of grace in our lives, when it takes us directly to an awareness of God, what that means is we are struck with our oneness with everything else, or we are struck with the availability of good. We are given a divine gift. It sort of lands in our lap, this beautiful thing that we had no actual, we didn't do anything for it. It's just a gift from God, a gift of grace that lands in our life. It comes unbidden, and all of a sudden we actually feel like we're in heaven. And heaven is not someplace up there, of course. Heaven is a state of intense well-being, where you just settle into this place and just, I feel really, really good. And actually, that should be happening to us several times a day, where we just settle in and think, wow, this is really fabulous. And what stimulates more and more of those moments is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude, I think, is a particularly human skill. I don't think any other life form really has gratitude, and I'll tell you how that works, in my mind at least. But when we're in gratitude, it takes us past all conditions that we have judged into a place of such joy. It's really foolproof, it's easy, it's reliable, anyone can do it. And although Michael has asked you to think of what you're grateful for already, I'm going to take you into a little process right now, sort of the same thing. But if you would settle in, this will only take less than a minute, actually. Let something emerge into your awareness that you are deeply grateful for. And remember everything you can about this person or situation. And that open place that we were in the prayer, where I asked you to have your heart so open that there were no edges. Feel that gratitude for that person or situation in your open heart place right now. If there are other images, like the breeze or like a smell or a taste, bring that into your mind. And just lean into this experience. And see if you can conjure the feeling of heaven. Intense well-being. And come back into the room now. And so, for how many of you was the person or situation that you're grateful for actually here in this room? A few of you. For the rest of you, what you were grateful for is nowhere in sight, except in your heart. And this is why I say gratitude is so magical and so divinely human. Because if you take our dogs, if you see a dog wagging, you can think this guy is really grateful. But the dog is grateful for you when you are there ready to scratch the ears and to say you are so good. When you are not there, when the dog is just hanging out, probably the dog is not thinking of you. I think probably the dog is just hanging out. And then the gratitude is inspired when you come back and you go, I want to scratch your ears, that thing, okay? For us, we can lean into that feeling and have it be as real as if we were with that person or in that situation. That is the magic of gratitude, and that's why it is our gift. And so we can conjure full-blown heaven in our mind. And I want to tell you that when you were doing that, and I was up here inviting you to go deeper and bring in more sensory awareness, so many of you had these beatific smiles on your face. It was so sweet. I know that you were in heaven. So gratitude is related to connection, which is our topic for the month, because we actually are connected to everything, what we love and what we don't love. That's another talk, but I want to read you this wonderful quote from David Bohm, the theoretical physicist. I believe in the absolute oneness of God and therefore humanity. Though we have many bodies, we have but one soul. The rays of the sun are many through refraction, but they have the same source. I cannot therefore detach myself from the wickedest soul, nor may I be denied identity with the most virtuous. So we're one with it all. But when we're conscious of a connection with one of the all things, when we're conscious of that, and when we bring it into awareness, we feel a real connection with it. And so, when we are connected in our consciousness to something that we are grateful for, we are also practicing a very efficient spiritual tool. And that efficient spiritual tool is simply thinking, meditating on, ruminating about, focusing our attention on what we love. This is basic science of mind. It is in the Quick Start program. It's in Foundations. Every first thing that you learn about this philosophy says that what you focus on, what you think about, what runs through your mind continuously, you create more of that in your life. So, a habit of gratitude keeps us on this never-ending spiral upward into greater and greater and greater senses of well-being. So that's what the PowerPoint is about today, raising our levels of gratitude. Okay, you with me here? We're all wide open, might as well. So, this is from a quote from the Foundations class in this week. So my Foundation students, this was in the margin there for this week. Brother David Stendhal Rast. As I express my gratitude, I become more deeply aware of it. And the greater my awareness, the greater my need to express it. What happens here is a spiraling ascent, a process of growth in ever-expanding circles around a steady center. So this is a map today of how to get happier and happier and happier. Okay, you with me here? Anybody want to do that? Want to go on a little trip? Happier, happier, happier? Okay. But it starts out great at the beginning. So, gratitude heals disappointment. So if any of you came today with something heavy on your heart, if you allow yourself to move into the gratitude room, you will heal the sense of disappointment. So, when we focus on what we want or what we don't want, we create more of it. So if you are focusing on disappointment, you're going to get more of that. But instantly, if you focus on what you're grateful for, even if it doesn't have, it doesn't have to have anything to do with your disappointment or not, just something in your life that you're grateful for, you will go from, now I'm not going to say hell, but I said it, didn't I? When you're in disappointment, you feel separate from your good. You wish something else had happened, or you wish something is going to happen that doesn't look very likely. And if you look at that lack, that's what causes the feeling of disappointment. And what is that experience of hell but separation from our good? So the more you travel down the path of disappointment, the more you will feel separate from your good. But turning to what you're grateful for, all of that path of disappointment is transformed immediately. So this can be pretty subtle. In fact, I'm going to say that we can be disappointed and not really know it. Because in my life, of course, I live these things. Last weekend, or 2 weekends, no, it was last weekend, the Corps Council had an all-day retreat on Saturday. We had an all-day, and it was so wonderful. And the first thing that happened was that we kind of looked at setting goals for more numbers in this community that we have set for years. And what is really interesting is when we look at the pattern of a year, which sometimes, well, it dips in the summer. It is biggest kind of like around January, February, March. Actually, this is pretty darn full today, which I'll come to, but when we looked at the average number of people, it was pretty much the same, or it shrunk a little bit when we lost the youth church building across the way. And then it shrunk a little bit when we had this wonderful technology of the web so that people could view us from their bed at home. Good morning, sleepyheads. So this year, also earlier in the year when this new Corps Council came on in March, we set some goals. We set growth in numbers, and we set a goal for closeness of the membership. We did this actually with a wonderful assistant, Alyssa, that helped us through this. And it was, we set these goals, we all agreed on them. And then at the Corps Council meeting, we looked at and we said, this is so interesting. Once again, we have not met the goal of growth, but what seems to have happened is that goal of getting people closer together is very, very much realized. And we kind of all came to this one at a time, and we looked at this. We said, we have people talking to us on Sunday about what a welcoming, loving presence we have here, and how calm and filled with joy our community is, how healthy it seems, felt by many first-timers. And then we realized, we set this goal of having more connection, and then there were programs that kind of fell out of that goal. Like we have the birthday parties, and we have helping each other succeed, and we have a very, very wonderful singles program, and we have home parties like the practitioners are meeting in Sue's house today. And so one at a time we looked at this as sort of a miracle. And we shouldn't have been so surprised, but anyway, what we felt was, and this was thrilling, years of disappointment falling away. And just being in the gratitude of where we are. Because every single person on the Corps Council loves it. They're having a good time on the Corps Council. And so they're having a good time in the community as well. And so in the Bible where it says the scales were removed from their eyes, that's how we felt. It's like the same community, and we are seeing it completely different. We are happy and have nothing to be disappointed about. And so that is so great. It's so great. And we just did that with gratitude. So that's, I highly recommend it for any place that feels a little icky in your life. Just put it on the altar and then go be grateful. All right, moving it up a little bit. Gratitude sets the tone for a great day. So a gratitude practice is easier to adhere to than I think almost any other practice. It's so easy and so fun. It doesn't take a particular chair. It doesn't take a pillow. It doesn't take tree to stand under. It doesn't really take an altar. It doesn't even take you don't have to be in any particular position. You just think of what you're grateful for. And so if you suggest to yourself that this is a practice that you're going to participate in, all you have to do is put a Post-it note on your mirror in the morning that says, what are you grateful for today? And it will trigger that process. And if you can just spend the time that it takes to brush your teeth, leaning into the experience, because that's the key, actually. You have to generate the feeling of heaven. It doesn't really work to just read the list of what you're grateful for if you're still running the disappointment program in your head. You have to be fully leaning into the gratitude. So just the time that it takes for you to brush your teeth, and then when you do that gratitude practice and you brush your teeth, it'll make your mouth all healthy too. So I was remembering Karen Drucker's lyrics when I was at this point in my talk. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of is love. And so I was talking to a friend last night who told me that gratitude also increases productivity, which I think is exactly fits in with having a great day. It's kind of the ant at the picnic syndrome. You know, if you have an ant that is walking on your little throw thing that you're putting on the ground and it finds something, it's enthusiastic about finding the next crumb and calls all of its friends. And so if you are grateful for something in your life, it gives you actually more energy to do the next thing so that you can be grateful for that accomplishment as well. So, number 3, and this is really wonderful, gratitude affirms our connection to God. So I want to read more of that quote that it holds the principle. In everything give thanks. An attitude of gratitude is most salutary and bespeaks the realization that we are now in heaven. Gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence and is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. So that's on page 497 in the textbook. So I want to remind you of the times that you say, oh my God. The times that you say that when something has surprised you that is so marvelous that your response is, let's say it together, oh my God. You're all beaming again. That's wonderful. So let's see. This is O, which is the awestruck surprise. My, where you take the gift in and accept it. And God, that pattern of joy and of heaven that you enter right then with this stimulus that is just for you because it awestruck you, or struck you with awe. It's just for you. It may be just for everybody else in the room too, but because you had that, oh my God, experience, it is absolutely just for you. It's a gift from God, especially for you. So this happened to me. And I want to explain how this worked. So earlier this week, I saw a TED Talk about gratitude. And so I thought, I just saw it in passing, and I wasn't ready to work on my talk. So I thought, I'm going to remember this guy. I wrote the guy's name down. And I said, I'm going to find this again when I'm doing my talk. So I was doing my talk. I was about to this point, actually, and I went on TED Talks, and I typed in the guy's name, and I could not find the one I wanted. So one of the things that I do when I hit a stumbling block in my talk is I go do something else. I go and I pet the cat. I get another cup of tea. I clean the kitchen. Yesterday what I did was I went to an email that I had gotten previously, the day before, from this magical person, it turns out, who said, "You might like this. I thought of you when I saw it." And I hadn't opened it yet. So I was futzing. I was doing my futzing, get a cup of tea thing. And so I went over to the email and I clicked on this and, oh my God! It was the TED Talk that I wanted to find out of how many million TED Talks are there on the internet now. The one I wanted was given to me. So I thought, while I'm writing here about gifts from God, I get a gift from God. Now the gift is good, but the gift of getting the gift, it's another gift. Do you see that? The levels that I was experiencing, I was like just going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So miracles are unexpected things that happen that are really good in the realm that we usually live in. But when you're grateful and you are in heaven more of the time, you're in another realm where what is a miracle in the day-to-day life becomes a normal way of being in heaven. And so this is the spiral that we get to live. And it is triggered by the practice of gratitude. That we create the heaven around ourselves. We're in heaven more of the time. Serendipitous experiences are normal in heaven. And you get them, and get them, and get them. And my prayer is that we always get to say, oh my God. So, do it. Okay, it'll be really a happy thing. So on your chairs this morning are the thank you, gratitude, thank you God, grateful cards for next Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving 2014. Now most of you know what to do with these. If your chair didn't happen to have one, we have some extra ones up front. What you do is you write what you want to be grateful for next Thanksgiving. And then you put it in this envelope and you self-address it and you lick it and you give it back to us. Would some people from the front kind of hold up some of these cards so that people can have them? Yeah. If you need one, just come up. They're in the air here. Yeah, good. So you know how it works? The miracle that you want, the way you want to feel connected to God, what you want to be grateful for, the disappointment that you want to turn behind you. I mean, don't write the disappointment. Write what you're going to be grateful for instead. And then we'll see next year because we mailed these to you before Thanksgiving. And y'all should have received yours this year already. So I want to hear any miracles. Okay, my darlings, we're going to do the inner work now. And as you prepare for the inner work, I want to share with you something from Meister Eckhart. If the only prayer you say in your whole life is thank you, that would suffice. So, as we turn within, we're just going to practice this for a while. We're going to think of something and we're going to say thank you. And we're going to think of something else and we're going to say thank you. So remember that you are still in your wide, wide, wide open heart. You don't have to feel the edges of your body until you start driving your car. Although probably in that wonderful practice called hugging, you will feel the edges of your body after service. And that'll get you back in there. But right now, music right here, right now. Thank you. Thank you. For beauty, the most beautiful thing that you can imagine right now, bringing it to mind, leaning into it, being grateful for it, and saying, thank you. And then your specific favorite food. It's so great to be in a body, isn't it? It's so great. Thank you for garlic. Thank you for chocolate. Thank you. Thank you. The healing process. We have all been down and then healed and restored. Say thank you for the healing process. Thank you for emotions. Thank you for life purpose. Thank you for the littlest thing that you can think of. Thank you for the biggest thing you can think of. And we have just had this beautiful gratitude practice and have entered heaven. And so striving to stay in this state, and as the music just continues a little bit longer, bringing yourself back into your body and opening your eyes so softly that at first you don't know they're open, and you're still in the trance of gratitude. Blessed be. Anton has brought CDs right around at the mall area back there, if you would like to take him home. Would the ushers please come forward? And as we prepare for our tithes and offerings, that place, that open-hearted place, this is where we give from. Because as we give from that place of openness, it more rushes in, good of every kind. And so giving with gratitude is pretty darn powerful. And if you are ready to put your gratitude 2014 envelopes in the offering, that's fine. Otherwise, you can leave them on any table or hand them to me or any of the ushers today. So for this practice, if you would just take your gift in your hands and place that next to your heart and have all of that wonderful, wonderful gratitude energy of our heart pour into the gift today. That's what multiplies it, gives it more bandwidth, more power, more joy as it moves through our community. And then this money goes to pay our bills and blesses all of those businesses that we use to sustain this beautiful, beautiful, sacred community. And so we give and we love giving. We give into that place where we are spiritually nourished. And so it is. So would the ushers please receive the gifts? So I give thanks. I give thanks for these offerings. I give thanks for these tithes. I give thanks for these sweet invitations to the universe to give us what our heart longs for, because that's what is contained in these sweet envelopes. And so for all of these blessings, I am eternally grateful. And so it is. Amen. So, my sweethearts, before we have the closing prayer, I want to remind you to, over there in the corner is the story of these wonderful, wonderful paintings, the singing trees. And Paula, will you stand up, honey, over there? Paula is the one to talk to about the holiday bazaar, and then shopping in our wonderful holiday bookstore. And let me hug you if I don't know you.
So would the practitioners please come forward? And these practitioners have offered to give of their time today to sit with you. If there's anything left unresolved or something you want to celebrate further, after church, go back to the table and they'll pray with you. And with the other practitioners, please surround the world with your... surround the world.
Yeah.
Holding that high consciousness. Oh, and so surrounded by this field of love, I invite you to join with me for spiritual mind treatment. And releasing all that has come before this moment. Flooded with that freedom, that grace, that filled up empty feeling of gratitude. I bring my attention to the source of all of it, to the infinite giver, the infinite lover, the infinite life, which is all one life. From the grain of sand to the most distant star, from the ant to the human, all. The idea, the chair, all. Part of that one life living itself, all conscious with the consciousness of life itself, all originating from that same source. And I am one individualization of that one source. I am one place where it has sprung into being uniquely as me. And as I know this for myself, so I know it for all those within the sound of my voice, each one a unique expression of the one life, of the endless givingness of good. And so in this moment, I speak my word for each one, and I call forth that place in each one that is able to say, thank you to that within me, which knows only good. Able to say it in the face of beauty, in the face of power, in the face of joy, in the face of abundance, and even in the face of that which appears to be loss or sorrow, limitation or illness. So that each one might stand in the place of knowing that there is only the good to unfold. And I celebrate this opening, this soft place in each one that is the opening to a greater and greater experience and expression of good, so that the circle is complete, the givingness returns, the good is established again and again and again through each one of us, in each and every one of our experiences of life. And I release this my word to that law of mind that forever and ever simply becomes whatever is needed, whatever is accepted for the greater expression of the one life, of the one love, of the one givingness. And so it is.
So I invite you to stand for our affirmation and closing song. Right up behind me. My heart is filled. Well, let's start again. Okay, everybody ready? Okay. My heart is filled with gratitude and overflows in love and acceptance. My blessings are so numerous they cannot be counted. I find myself in heaven in this very moment because I am so grateful.
With